Hey guys, Alex coming at you from Southern California. Just wanted to hop on and share some records here for Dom's contest. Of course, I'm sure if you're subscribed to me, you know Dom's channel. If not, I'll leave a link. And of course, Dom is he's going to donate some money to Eric Weinbender's fundraiser as well. Eric, hope you're feeling better, and hope you're back doing videos very soon. We're all pulling for you. So he wants to pick at least 5 records. That's what I have here. 5 records, essentially that have special meaning to us in some way. And so yeah, let's get right to it. And I've sort of dedicated each one of these to someone or something. This one I dedicate to my brother. It's of course DJ Shadow's masterpiece from 1996 on Mowax Records. This is one of the few records that I've kept the shrink on because it has the awesome hype sticker there. And not much more that I need to say about this record. What I will share is, when I was in high school, my brother is 3 years older than me. He went to college at Northwestern University in near Chicago, and he was listening to all kinds of interesting things. Once he got into college, he was going out to the clubs in Chicago, listening to things like this and Kraftwerk and Portishead and Orbital and stuff like that. And at the time I was very much into guitar music, of course all the classics, classic rock, and of course all the alternative rock of the late 90s that was so popular at the time. And I remember him playing the song Organ Donor in the car one time. I think he was picking me up from school or something, and I just remember kind of mocking it, and he tried to explain, this is like based on samples, and the song was definitely intriguing. If you guys know Organ Donor, it's a fantastic organ sample, sped up and cut up brilliantly. So it definitely caught my ear, definitely planted a seed. But yeah, I remember at the time I kind of dismissed it as garbage, and I particularly remember saying something like, well, if he's not playing an instrument, if there's no instruments here, then it's not real music. Of course, what he was doing here really is using the sampler itself as an instrument, recontextualizing all of these amazing records, in the pre-internet era, of course, finding all these records, in Northern California and stuff like that, and creating just an amazing piece of art out of all those. So yeah, I'm definitely one that means a lot to me. The next one, I didn't want to play a sample off that one. I'm pretty sure I would get hit on the copyright, but I'll play some of this one. So I had a friend in college, towards the end of college. A very brilliant guy, electrical engineer, went on to law school, and I really respected his taste in a whole variety of different things, movies. And one day I was checking out, his CD collection. He had a whole rack of them, and I thought I knew a lot about music at the time, and I couldn't recognize anything of it was all CDs. Basically, he had full runs of labels, Chicago labels like Touch and Go and Thrill Jockey, tons of post rock. I'm sure he had things like Slint and probably like Pavement. I just think of all the great, post-rock, math rock, almost all instrumental stuff, and I was just really intrigued, just looking over, just the artwork alone was very interesting to me, just something that was unlike anything I'd seen up to that time, and so I asked him for recommendations. He recommended, of course, this band, which a lot of people in the BC are well aware of, Tortoise, and so I mean that kind of opened my ears to a lot of interesting sounds, and it wouldn't be right away. It took me maybe another year or so before I started to really get into some of that stuff. But I remember, I burned, a handful of the CDs, including some Tortoise stuff, and I spent a lot of time with those, and eventually started buying a lot of that stuff on CD. This is their 12-inch EP from 1995, recorded in '94, and this is the song and the title of the EP, Gamera, which I think is just a sort of a play on words on gamelan music from Indonesia, and maybe Gamera. This is a song that's playing. It's a brilliant sidelong track, kind of one of the most classic post-rock songs ever. Just kind of built and built. But it's not bombastic, like a Mogwai or those types of bands. It's a lot more groove oriented, almost crowd rocky in a way. And I think that this also really opened my ears up to not just jazz in a way, but also just instrumental music in general. So classic track here from Tortoise. You can still find these EPs, for $20-25. I definitely recommend picking this up. This never really came out on any other LP, and it's arguably one of their best tracks. And the B-side is actually equally excellent. It's sort of like a suite of different tracks. It's a sidelong track, but really it's composed of almost different songs, one of which does have a very strong gamelan influence. This one actually really doesn't at all. Like I said, it's more kind of groove oriented, kraut rocky thing. But anyway, love Tortoise, great EP, great stuff. So fast forward, graduated from college. Living in the downtown Chicago and then commuting out to the suburbs. So I have at least a solid 2 to 3 hours every day in the car, just driving to and from work every day. And there's like at the time really podcasts weren't a thing, and we're talking like early mid 2000s, and as I mentioned, my brother went to Northwestern University, and so I knew they had a good college station, college radio station, WNUR, which played really just weird stuff. I mean, they had a jazz program in the morning that was fairly straight ahead, but in the evenings during my commute, they would basically let the students just pick whatever they wanted from their pretty vast library, and they put together some really interesting set mixes. I don't know if the DJs really knew all the music that they were playing necessarily, or if they were just kind of experimenting themselves, but it really it was just a really fun show. And I remember they played a lot of Can, which at the time I sort of knew by reputation, by name. Obviously Can, a band that has influenced so many other bands, and was influencing a lot of the bands that I was sort of into at the time, like Radiohead and so on. But I distinctly remember them playing some of the extended tracks from this album, like Bel Air in particular, which I guess I'll try to play a little bit. I don't know if I get copyright hit here. see if I can grab it. It's a German pressing here on United. I don't think it's a first pressing, but it's an early one. So yeah, this is one of my favorite camp tracks too. You know, sidelong. You know, it kind of starts with Damo's vocals and then just sort of just evolving into this, you know, very hypnotic. How Lee was it on the drums, of course, it's amazing. And just, you know, some of my favorite psychedelic music, you know, really from the 70s. And like I said, they also played a lot of Faust on that radio show, and started to look into some of that. And yeah, in a lot of ways, that was around the same time I was starting to collect records actively in the mid-2000s. And so, you know, it came at a perfect time, and also my discovery of the VC, you know, and finding, you know, guys like Derek who were, you know, showing a lot of this, you know, German music. So yeah, definitely a key record, one that I still enjoy quite a bit. Can't with Future Days from, was it 74? Next we go to my roots. You know, I was born in Mexico City. I lived there until I was 8 years old, and you know, this is music that you know, that my dad played when I was little, and I think I showed this before, but yeah, this is I think it's the only record I think that I have from my dad's record collection to this day, and it's called in Nucapalici, in Azatlan, Retorno a Azatlan. So the artist here is Antonio Cepeda. There he is here. And, you know, obviously, you know, John Hassel has been on my mind, as you guys know, with his passing, and you know, posted that tribute video. And, you know, I'm sure that Cepeda was also influenced by Hassel to some degree, and of course, Hassel, a builder of worlds, and you know, in many ways, Cepeda is also a builder of worlds with his music. But in some ways, the worlds that he builds with his music are a lot more specific, and it's almost like he's trying to recreate, you know, pre-Hispanic culture, pre-Hispanic worlds, you know, through his music, which is all based around authentic pre-Hispanic instruments, right? But of course, you know, this music was, you know, as my dad, you know, later told me, you know, this music was never recorded, and so what vague notions there are of this music back when it was originally created and being played with these instruments, you know, some of it may have been sort of communicated, you know, through the centuries, but you know, a lot of it has been lost, and so he's just kind of reimagining, you know, what this music is, which, you know, is really fascinating, and I said very much in the spirit of, you know, something like a John Hassel and, you know, fourth world music in general, but like I said, with in many ways very much more sort of specific and authentic, for lack of a better word, I suppose. But although some of these artists, like Jorge Reyes, who's another one of these guys, they also combined elements of electronic and even sort of progressive music with some of the pre-Hispanic tribal elements. But just an incredible record. Even has a little bit of water damage here, probably from one of the several times that my dad's basement has flooded over the years in living in Chicago. So yeah, but and of course, interestingly, I really didn't get into this music until a few years ago when, through various compilations and just pulling the thread on various types of ethnic and world musics, did I sort of get deeper into this. And I know Chris Cole has long been into this kind of music. He was another great influence in that respect. But yeah, fantastic record. Check him out. Antonio Cepeda is the artist. Beautiful record, and it's actually like a trifold. There you go. So very special one for sure. And then finally, I kind of really felt like I needed to pay tribute to my kids, and we certainly have spent a lot of time together over the last year and a half with the pandemic. And I remember at some point, last summer, I think we're all kind of getting a little bit cabin fever and stuff like that, and I've been listening to this record a lot, and I'm like, come in here, kids, and let's have a dance competition. And yeah, they were into it, and I had my kids do a good old-fashioned dance-off to the sounds of this great record from Max Roach, among others, the M-Boom percussion group with the likes of Warren Smith, Max Roach, Raymond Tilla, Joe Chambers, among a few others. But yeah, just a fantastic collection of just rhythms and fantastic percussions, and yeah, definitely fun music to dance to, even though it's not obviously like dance music, but and I think some of the tracks are maybe a little bit more rhythmic in that sense, but yeah, great stuff. And yeah, just a fun memory from summer in quarantine with my kids, and just kind of getting a little nutty and having some fun with Max Roach. So that's it. Went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but yeah, just wanted to support Dom. Great channel. I just love this whole idea of searching for threads in music, and just the general exploration. And yeah, love the channel. And again, get well, Eric. Talk to you soon. Bye.